Hey YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy David Gamma from Saiga City Gamers. Most of you that are watching this are probably not subscribers to this channel, and you're here because of the title. If you are here because of that, then this is a video that you are going to want to watch in its entirety, so do not skip anything. I will try to be as transparent and honest and straight to the point as possible, so make sure you watch this video in its entirety. Now, for the subscribers and those of you that know who I am and what I do, I thought that this is a very important video that just needed to be shared, because it happens to a lot of YouTubers and content providers, and it's not quite often talked about, at least in a realistic way that makes sense. That is your Google AdSense account. What happens when you are disabled? What can you do, and how can you get it reinstated? And that's what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to kind of share my experience with you guys and let you know exactly what I had to do to get it reinstated. So I'm on this page. As you can see, this is one of the Google AdSense landing pages. For those of you that are not quite familiar with the AdSense program, this is a great way that you can make money as a content provider. As it says right here on the screen, you can get paid for displaying targeted Google ads on your site. Now, the majority of Google AdSense partners use YouTube. Some use it exclusively, but this AdSense program allows you to place ads anywhere on the internet. And when I say anywhere, I mean anywhere. It can be your personal blog, a website, a business, a web page. It could be a game, an app, something for iOS or Android, anything that displays or has the capability of displaying ads. More than likely you can use AdSense towards that. So it's a great way to make money throughout the internet, not just on YouTube. With that said, there are plenty of people who have received a notification from Google letting them know that their account has been disabled. Quite often they're not given any detail other than just one or two lines, and it's usually not even one or two lines, maybe one or two phrases, such as invalid activity, invalid click activity, suspicion of invalid activity, and I think there's some others that I can't recall, but the three that I just named, 8 out of 10 times, those are usually the ones that you see the most. And so you know, you can just imagine what this does to someone who's trying to build a career as an entrepreneur online and make a living off of doing something they love. I mean, it's a huge blow. Me personally, I'm so grateful that I have so many different passions and so many different abilities that even though this occurred to me back in 2009, I was able to still make a decent living for myself. Needless to say, it was still a huge blow. Google is a tremendous company. I mean, they're pretty much like they're pretty much ruling the planet right now when it comes to technology. I mean, they are the #1 visited website on the planet. Everywhere is Google.com. YouTube is like number 3. I mean, I think Facebook or maybe some other company is in between that. But for the most part, I mean, come on, everyone knows Google. It's a global brand, and it's a monster. And so you want to be a part of that, right? You want to get a little piece of that pie. So to kind of share the story, my personal story, in a way that makes sense. Back in 2009, I'm going to go ahead and switch screens here. Back in 2009, I was approved for the AdSense program. And this is July 14th, 2009. Yes, you're seeing correctly. 6 years. Oh my goodness. I mean, 6 years ago, I was a completely different man. That's insane, right? It's been that long. And as of July 31st, 2015, I have officially received my Google AdSense back. So I'm now reinstated. But I just want you guys to see how long it took. 6 years. I mean, these guys do not play. Most people just say it's a ban for life and they give up, right? And it pretty much is, especially if you're not going to pill anymore. But to give you a breakdown, what occurred was when I was approved back in July 14th, of 2009, I really was not doing anything on YouTube. I was really using it for a personal website and blog. In fact, I ran several websites at the time, and they were all based around my passions, such as music, dance, video games, you know, things like that. And I was a young guy. I mean, you know, 6 years, again, that's like, I'm not going to try to date myself, but, you know, you go from the 20s to 30s easily, right? Mid-20s to 30s. So, yeah, I was a much younger guy, and I did a lot of things that was just reckless, you know, needless to say. And I was excited. I was overzealous. I just felt like, hey, man, now I'm part of AdSense. I can make money. And I did not read the terms and conditions. I did not look through the code of conduct. I pretty much just went off of my own, high and emotions and being excited, trying to mimic what I thought would make money, just letting everybody know personally that I knew that I was an AdSense partner now and I could make money if you click on my ad. I did all the wrong things. So in less than 2 months, or about 2 months to be exact, I received this notification here where it says Google AdSense account disabled. This was probably one of the worst emails I've ever received, period. It just destroyed everything that I was trying to build. Because at that time, I was still much of an up-and-comer within the entrepreneur world and what I was doing. So when I received this disabled email, I did what most people did. I reacted emotionally, and I just blamed Google. I called them every name in the book. You guys are crazy. What are you, insane? There's no way this is legitimate. I made demands. You need to reinstate my account ASAP. This makes no sense. I appealed and appealed and appealed and appealed. When you appeal, by the way, you don't always get a response. In fact, I think initially you get a response, but in that response, it lets you know, or they let you know, that if you do appeal, or if you've appealed it before, it could be that they'll just ignore it. They'll look at it and say, hey, this guy appealed before, so he's repeating himself. So this is all of the communication that I had in regard to AdSense, but this is more or less their responses. So this is probably only 70%. I send a ton of emails that have never gotten any response. I did some crazy things. I don't know how I did this. I can't recall, but I got on the phone with someone from Google. I think I spoke with the AdWords or some other department, and I was pleading to get in touch with someone from AdSense. So I just went through it all, man. I tried everything in the book. Now, I'm going to get to the specifics. The reason why I kept getting rejected was, again, I went about it the wrong way. I made demands. I accused them of fraud, and I just thought of everything in the book that was more or less an excuse. And because of that, they would just give me, let me pull up one of these emails. They would just give me a response like this. Thank you for the information you submitted, but after thoroughly re-reviewing your account data and taking your feedback into consideration, our specialists have confirmed that we're unable to reinstate your account. I've seen this email so many times. I deleted quite a few of them. So the ones that I'm showing you guys now are just the ones that I still happen to have. And then what I would do is maybe a week later or so, I would send another one, and then I'll get this email. This message confirms that we've received your appeal submission. We'll get back to you, blah, 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 da, da, da. If you previously submitted an appeal for this account, you might not receive a response to this or future appeals. So this went on for years. Again, I was approved in 2009. 6 years later, I finally got this email. Let's see. Can I click on it? Where is it? Okay. I think that was today. Nope. Can't find the email. Oh, okay. Let's see. I can probably find it. No, that was the older one. Let me scroll down. There we go. Okay. So 6 years later, I got this email. Thank you for clarifying your situation. We have reviewed your appeal and have reinstated your account. Effective immediately. That was today. Oh my gosh. Guys. I'm going to go ahead and just give you a quick breakdown as to what happened. And then I'm also going to go and show you, because this is what the other guys leave out. I'm going to show you literally what I had to do. I can't tell you exactly what I said because each case is unique. Clearly, there must be some type of judicial body or group that makes these calls. So I'm not going to tell you if you say this is going to work. But what I will give you is a great sense of what not to do and what to do. And I think I have the credibility because, as you can see, I spent years doing the wrong thing, right? And I did something different that finally got me the response that I want and ultimately got my account reactivated or reinstated. So here we go. I'm just going to pull up a little WordPad here and boom. Okay, so these are simple, right? But trust me, it's not followed quite often. And those that do this, which is the majority of people, including myself, they will continually get a response saying that, you know what, we are still going to leave your account disabled. First and foremost, do not threaten or make demands. Any demands, any threats. That includes even litigation, taking them to court. I'm going to sue you guys. My dad's a lawyer. I have a friend that does this, don't do that. I mean, this is a program that Google has created. If you read their terms and conditions, and if you understand the depths of this contract, they are within the legal rights to suspend your account. In some cases, they don't have to tell you any reason. They can just, hey, you know what, we deem this as a suspicious account. So don't make any threats. I know it might be very difficult to do, especially if you just did not do anything, at least deliberately, that caused this to happen, So don't make any threats. Don't make any demands. Don't tell them, you have to do this or else, or you should reinstate my account immediately or by this date. Don't do that. That's rule number one. Rule number two, do not make any excuses. Yes, don't make any excuses whatsoever. And the reason why I'm saying that is because quite often when things like this happen, you're kind of hit just like blindsided, right? You don't know what took place. But don't start saying, you know what, I gave my friend my password. He must have did it. I don't know what happened. I must have signed in at a school library and forgot that I was signed in. Because the more excuses you make, the worse it looks. Google is all about accountability, and they're doing big business with big clients. So if you're making excuses, in your mind, you're probably thinking that you're making it less of something that you've done, right? Which you are, but you're also letting them know how irresponsible, how unaccountable you are. So you want to avoid excuses by all costs. And then last but not least, be completely honest and transparent. Completely. So I'm going to use these three things, and I'm just going to kind of break it down personally as to what I did. So these are the things to not do and do, but I'm just now going to use this to share with you exactly what I did and what took place. Before I do that, let me give you guys a quick analogy. I would liken YouTube to Google's house, right? This is Google's home, YouTube. Google AdSense program, think of that as surveillance cameras. So when you're on YouTube, you're in Google's house, you're a guest. Of course, they want you to make yourself at home. Feel free to, be comfortable and all that good stuff. However, it's still their home. The AdSense program, again, you can consider those to be surveillance cameras that are hooked up throughout the entire home. So no matter what you do, where you go, what you say, whatever activity takes place in their home, those cameras are seeing it, they're capturing it, and they know all the information. So keeping that analogy in mind, let's say you don't use AdSense on YouTube. You use it for your personal website or your blogs or anything else outside of YouTube. Again, Google AdSense is like a camera. So what you're doing is you're agreeing that they can put their cameras within your home. So now you're just a partner. You're not using their home, but however, their cameras are in your home. And this is the best analogy I can think of, right off the top, because I want you to understand one thing. They already know what took place, how it took place. And so it's important for you to be completely honest and transparent. So that's why I use that analogy to break down what I'm going to say, so you guys have a better feel of what's going on. When I first was suspended, my knee-jerk reaction was to say, this is madness. This can't be true. Something went wrong. And I made all the excuses in the book. I didn't know I was making excuses, but that's what I was doing. I was saying, I used my account on this computer. I borrowed a phone and I signed in. I thought of everything, which actually did take place, but I thought of everything that just didn't make me accountable for what took place. I kept getting rejected and rejected and rejected and rejected and rejected. And I finally thought, you know what? I only had this site for 2 months, or the AdSense account for 2 months. What could I have possibly done that will make me either guilty of negligence or just guilty, outright of invalid click activity? When I thought that way, I quickly realized, oh, wow, yeah, that's right. I think I did tell people to help me out. I think I did make these little statements and kind of allude to doing different things that can benefit me because of what I was trying to do at that time. So I may have not said it outright, but I said it enough that it was against their terms and conditions. In fact, I even thought more deeply, and I realized there was a day or two where I really wasn't quite sure if I was making any money. I would see that there were ads displaying on my channel when I signed into my account. I also noticed that I was getting a lot of impressions, but I wasn't getting any clicks. There were times I did get some clicks, but I wasn't generating any revenue. So this is why I should have read the terms and conditions. I actually clicked on the ads myself. And then maybe a day later, I would go into my account and I would see that it wasn't generating anything that I thought it should be. I might get a penny here or 10 cents there. So one day I just said, you know what, man, maybe something's wrong with my AdSense account. And I did the control F5. I refreshed my page for like 2 minutes straight, like hundreds of impressions. I also clicked on the ad. I had a friend help me out too from a different location because I wanted to see if it was something wrong with my IP. So, as I'm thinking all of this and saying all of this, it just occurred to me, my gosh, not only did I violate the terms and conditions, I was completely guilty for invalid click activity. So they were on to it. They had every right again to ban my account. Now, the reason why I'm saying all of this to you guys is because I want you to understand that Google knew this from day one. They knew that these invalid clicks were generated from my IP, my location. They probably traced and tracked when I signed in and what time this happened and what time that happened. They again, going back to the surveillance cameras, they saw the activity, right? So all the appeals prior to that moment, that aha moment that I had just recently, all the appeals said everything except that. Like they were all based on what could have happened, what might have happened, what may have happened. I think this went wrong, or I think that went wrong, or it may have been this, it may have been that. Finally, and this was just 24 hours ago, and I'm going to go ahead and walk you through. I said to myself, I tried everything in the book. I tried excuses. I've gave them reasons that I thought would lead to the invalid click activity. And they all kind of shied away from me being responsible for my account. How about I just own up and say, I'm sorry, my bad, my fault. It was me. This is my account. I'm the one that signed up for it. Full responsibility and accountability falls on me. And that's what I did. So if you're seeing this form and you have a Google AdSense account that's suspended or disabled, then you've seen this form before. So I'm going to walk you through. I can't tell you exactly what I said because it is case by case, and each case is unique. They do have live human beings looking at these things, so there is some type of judicial committee or body that looks and approves or denies it. And so what I'm going to do is tell you exactly, more or less, how I went about it. So using this screen, I let them know, like, yes, I do have an AdSense login. I am able to log into the account, just not my AdSense. I put yes for that. Was your account disabled more than a year ago? I put yes. So again, we're being honest, right? We're telling them exactly the truth. So if any of these are no, you put that, because again, they know. So you can't put that it was disabled less than a year if it wasn't. They know. You can't put that you're not able to log in. Don't try to trick Google and make them think that, hey, someone hacked my account. Again, they know. So, I just answered those honestly as I could. That's my email right there. And so what I did was I put my name, put the email, saigascity@gmail.com. I put the URLs that I placed ads. And this is, back in 2009, the websites that I was running. And I put as many as I can remember because, again, I had several websites. And as far as sites where you intend to place the ads, this is very important. It should be active. So not a site that you're planning on creating after you get reinstated, hopefully, because this can impact you getting reinstated. Not a site that is pending or under construction. This has to be active. So what I recommend for most of you guys is to just use your YouTube channel. If you don't have a website, just put YouTube and slash whatever your channel's name, or put spell out the channel's name. So if they search it, whatever the case is, but you have to put something here. And then have you purchased traffic for your site, mobile apps, and or YouTube channels? Again, you have to be completely honest and transparent. If you've done so, put yes. Unfortunately, they don't give you any space to explain why or what, and it doesn't really matter. They just want to know how honest you're being. So put yes if you have. If no, put no. And then scrolling down, how do users get to your site, mobile app, blah, blah, blah. Now, this is a very interesting question because it doesn't really let you know if they're talking a combination of past tense, present tense, or how you plan to do it, or all the above. Because I tried different methods. I would say they're talking about everything. So if your account was suspended, in the past, years ago, or just a few months ago, I would put what you've done to promote it and what you plan to do to promote it. So in my case, I just had like YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, the social media, that kind of thing. And if you've used any other mediums like a gaming community or any other forums or things like that, make sure you put that in there as well. Because again, the more honest you are, the more accountable you are, the more likely you will get your account reinstated. So the next question is, have you or your site, mobile app, YouTube, ever violated the AdSense program? Terms and conditions. You want to put yes. Look at how the question is worded. Have you or your site, mobile app, and or YouTube channel? So it's not just focusing on you as a person. It's asking if your site or your app or your channel ever violated the AdSense program. So you want to put yes. If your account is disabled, this answer should always be yes. And then it says, if so, how? See, this is where it becomes a little bit tricky because now you really want to go in depth. So if you're, I'll just use invalid click activity. If you have an account that's been disabled for that, you want to put yes, and then you want to put for invalid click activity, and then if so, how? Well, go ahead and explain. And that's what I did. I broke it down as literal as possible. I told them everything I told you guys. I told my friends to help me out. I told viewers to help me out. I'm just getting on my feet. So those little statements there are pretty much letting them know that, he did promote click invalid, clicks activities, because it should be genuine interest. It shouldn't be anything that's being promoted, or you shouldn't insinuate anything. Also here it says if there's any relevant information that you believe may have resulted in invalid click activity. So let's say you just told your dad, your mom, your friends, right? Aside from putting that statement, you can also maybe elaborate and say, I told them all to assist me and help me out. Furthermore, my dad would click on the ads on his iPod. My friends would sign in at the universities and click on it. So things like that. It really helps when you go above and beyond and explain as much detail as possible. That way, when they do their cross, references, they'll be able to match things up on the back end. And trust me, they have a lot of data. I mean, I worked in IT and I also worked in help desk. And again, I'm a webmaster. And I ran plenty of forums, and I can tell you, even with that, I had so much access to the users of my site. I know what they were doing, when they were doing it, who was logging on, and so on and so forth. So you have to assume that they know everything, because more than likely they do. And so you want to give them as much details as possible so they can match that. It says, what changes will you implement to help improve ad traffic quality on your site? This is really where you also want to be elaborate. They give you 1,000 words. Or letters, and so you want to be able to explain as much as possible. You don't want to say anything generic like "I'll be a good boy, promise not to click on the ads," so on and so forth. I mean, that's nice to say, but you want to be very specific. You want to let them know that you have read the terms and conditions. You are already able and willing to comply, to adhere to all of that. You want to explain some changes, if any, that you've made. Like if you work with the team and there were people that were doing things that were counterproductive, let them know if you suspended or fired those people. If you had some competitors or had some online beefs and you may have been click bombed, let them know what steps you've took, or even provide details in regard to that. Again, you want to be able to be as specific as possible. If you did something such as manipulate your ads, or you hid them in hyperlinks or things like that, you want to explain and express that and let them know this is all behavior that will be stopped. And then finally, it says, please include any data from your site. Being that my AdSense was suspended more than 6 years ago, I really didn't have any logs of data to report. What I did do, however, is it says, or request, which could explain an invalid activity. I, again, further elaborated on what took place. And I let them know outright, this is something that I take full responsibility and full accountability for. This was my AdSense account. At the time, I'm not sure if it's the same, but at the time, you had to put your name, your address, I think your social or tax ID or information. So it all fell on me. It doesn't matter if I fell asleep and someone had a field day with my account. I owned up to it. I said, hey, you know what? This was a huge privilege. I understand the privilege as well as the responsibility, and I'm ready, able, and willing to make those changes, and I'm a man of my word. And I just went ahead and explained everything that I could in regard to what took place, but more so, I focused on I used the angle of accountability. That's really what it is, guys. I mean, I hope that helps, and I'm trying to be as specific as possible because I just got my AdSense account approved today. And as you can see, I mean, I have 2, 4, 6, 11, 19, 22, and 25. I mean, it goes on and on. I've been doing this for years, trying my best to get my account back, and I just got it back today. So back in July 2009 is when I was approved. In September 2009, my account was disabled. And since then, I've been sending it like once, maybe every month or every other month. And just recently, I started sending them like weekly. And it wasn't until I did exactly what I told you guys, as far as being open and honest and transparent, that's when I got my account back. So I hope this helps, guys. And if there's any questions, any concerns, feel free to leave a comment, shoot me a message, and I'll try my best to assist you further. But I just want to let you know that do not give up. Don't give up. Do it the right way. Go about it the right way. Go about things the honest way. The more transparent you are, the more accountable you are, the more responsible you become. And that's really what Google is looking for. That's it, man. It's your boy David Gamma, and I am signing out for Saiga City. Have a good one.